Good afternoon. This is Chris Brecher with Brecher Trading. This is the free Friday video for January 26th. This is the condensed version. The premium members get the 15 to 20 minute video, but this one just goes over a couple of things we did today, some ideas and what I saw of the overall market. Just to let you know, we jumped on some good ideas the last hour. And what I wanted to mention in here, and I have to harp myself a little in here. I'm not real good at promotion. In fact, I have to learn this a little more. I usually let my trading just sort of speak for itself, but this is Brecher Trading. We have forum where it's an active forum now where people can exchange ideas with me or with each other back and forth. But the reason I'm mentioning the videos and the chat, and the reason I show you this is I do a chat in the morning and the afternoon. I do an hour in the morning, at least an hour, and an afternoon chat. The afternoon one isn't rendered yet. And we've done a ton of good trades in the morning, like shorting Intel yesterday. A lot of people that aren't used to like making money shorting made some money in Intel yesterday. And the afternoon today, we were trading a lot of the of Xilinx. There was a lot of takeover rumors in there that I didn't see any takeover rumors, but the options showed there was takeover rumors, and I'll show you on how I traded it. There were about 3 ways to trade it. Is pretty exciting in here. We have morning ideas. Every morning I show charts, and thank goodness I haven't been massively bearish. I mean, this is a crazy market, but this is what the morning ideas look like. You press on morning ideas, and I usually do 5 index charts and 5 stock ideas. See BZUN? The stock went way up today. That was a good one. GM didn't do much. Apple, I said I thought it would start to go up, and it was up a point. So that one worked a little well. So I'm pretty excited. As you see, I was showing the NASDAQ in this diamond formation, and it broke to the upside. Just respect the break. So that's what you get in Brecher Trading. It's pretty exciting in there. You also get the videos, like I said, the nightly videos, a swing trade video I'm doing this weekend, and I'll be doing it on just some more of these small stocks that are showing good patterns. So that's pretty cool. So let me go into what happened to the market today. Number one, ES is on their high up 33. Holy cow. But this is what I warned this morning, thank goodness, and in the chat and on the morning charts. That pattern on the far upper right quadrant, we went up by this amount, or we're about to. That if you broke 28.50, we were going to go from here to here. I mean, that could get you all the way to 28.90. But the point in here is there were a lot of divergences. And you might ask what I mean by that. Well, the transports finally kicked in gear a little, up 118. They were down 200 yesterday, led by the airlines. But you have the EMD, the Russell, acting very poorly in here. That doesn't mean they can't go up later. As you see, they might just be the pause that refreshes. Usually with this speculative a market, you start to get the small stocks kick in gear. Today, if you would have bought small stocks because the big stocks were up, you would have lost money, and we didn't concentrate on that. We concentrated on some takeover ideas, and I'll go into that in a minute. Now, just to let you know, bond market still looks like it could break even farther down, but right now we're in this go-go mode, and let me just show you for perspective. This is the ESs on a weekly and daily chart. I've been doing this 37 years. This is the most vertical for the major market I've ever seen. So there was a nasty advanced decline, negative today. The VXX, the volatility index, refused to go down. But until this starts to cross, you can't even think of shorting. If you want to short intraday, fine. In fact, there was a study that just came out that said since 1993 that if you would have bought on the close and sold on the opening the next morning, you'd make 585%. But if you bought during the day on the opening and sold on the close, you'd be down 5.8%. What's the moral of the story? Swing trade long, day trade short. And there are always some day trades you can find on the short side. When the market's up 33, that's not when you want to mess around on the short side. But I'm just telling you, every day we're finding short and long ideas. So let me show you the long idea we found today. Number one, I do a scan, and I do this hourly, of doing an unusual option scan. So this one was just stocks from 5 to 2,000. This is using Thinkorswim. I did volume of at least 3,000 options, and I want the open interest at least at most 5,000. The reason for that is that usually means this volume is to open, not to close. So if this was like 50,000, it wouldn't mean as much. I take anywhere from 1 to 90. Now, what I'm doing in here, I'm actually going to add one for options, and I'm going to add only option type. On a Friday, most takeovers happen over the weekend. So usually on a Friday, I'm scanning for unusual call activity, not put and call. So I want days to expiration from 1 to 90 because usually the unusual option activity is within that time. If it's way far out, it's not as important directionally. The other thing I do in here is I take anywhere from 15 cents to 2.35. You might be like, why don't you take $10 options? Because if, let's say some person, lawyer, accountant, somebody has inside information on a takeover, they're not going to buy $10 options. They're going to buy the cheapest options they could buy that give you the most bang for the buck. They're not going to go 90 days out if they know it's in 2 weeks. So just keep that in mind. So once I do all that and I scan, I get all of 69 option series. That's just not that many. And when you go through them, you'll see the usual suspects, the Twitters. Twitter actually this morning, somebody in the chat liked Twitter and they were dead right. And the stock just took off. But the one that stuck out was Xilinx. Now, the thing is, there's a thing called a bag holder trade. This wasn't one of them. I'll show you what I mean. A bag holder trade is when somebody buys a bunch of options today for February, let's say, because their January ones expire worthless, and they're like, screw it, I'm just going to buy them again. It's not what happened. Look at the lack of open interest in Xilinx. There just isn't any. Next week, no open interest. The next week, no open interest, hardly any. And then for normal expiration, somebody bought 14,000 calls today. Holy Toledo in here. So the first thing I do is I go to time and sales. And when you go to time and sales in here, you're going to see that they were buys, not sells. That's the first thing I always do in these is I go in to see if they were buys or sells. How do you tell if they're buys or sells? If they're constantly buying on the offer, that usually means it's buying. So let me show you. I always go and I put it in chronological order. So they started buying at about 10:38. The other thing I watch is persistence of buying. If there's one order of 5,000, not as important. As you see, they paid the offer, $145, and they just kept buying all day. My goodness. You can see the green in there. They just kept buying the offer all day. So that's pretty impressive. So not only were they buying them to open, because there's hardly open any interest, but they were buying a ton of them. And then I go to the chart. The stock got tattooed this week on earnings, but it sold off right to support, and now it's oversold. Now, this is usually when I see takeover rumors, I'm not in love with the stock, and on Monday, if there's no takeover, they probably could go down. But what I did was this. I tried to structure a trade that if there isn't any takeover, I'm not going to lose too much because it's near its support. And if there is a takeover, I could double my money. So this is what I did. I went into Xilinx. This is what the big people were doing, buying 14,000 at 72.5. Well, I think the stock could stay around this area. So I bought the 70 calls and sold the 75s. Did I limit my risk? Absolutely. So basically I did it for $1.88. So if the stock goes to 60, I lose $188. If the stock goes to 90, I make the width of this, which is $5. I'll make $3.20. To me, that was just a good risk reward in there. Maybe not a double, but on the other hand, you also have the stock looking good on a 15-minute chart. That's the second phase of what I wanted to talk about. So you had the ESs going up today, and when I got on today at 3 o'clock, I said, hey, everybody, look at this bull flag in Xilinx. when you see this type of call activity, the stock is not going to sell off on the close. Number one, you have the overall market going bonkers. But the other thing you have in there is the overall, that the stock, if when I was a market maker on the floor, if some broker came in with that many calls to buy, of course I'm going to be buying stock to hedge myself, not selling the stock. So when the stock was right here, I told everybody this stock's going to close on the high for the day. I'm usually not that like definitive. And sure enough, it closed within 1 penny of its high for the day. A lot of people bought stock right here and made 70 cents in the last hour. That makes me really happy when they do that. They didn't sell to the very close. The other one we did that was really fun was Mattel. Now, Mattel's had a bunch of takeover rumors. So here's the stock going down today. And I told everybody right here at 3 o'clock, just for laughs, I'm buying the Mattel 16.5 calls for a nickel, for 5 cents. I just bought one just to show I was doing it. Well, lo and behold, the stock has a big old pop here, and some of us sold them at 15 cents. That's 200%. So it was really exciting to find 2 really good trades when the market was already up. So I hope you've liked this video. I was going to do a 5-minute one. It ends up being 11 minutes. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you get a chance, Brecher Trading, $97, 2 hours of chat a day, at least 2 hours. I did a special Ask Me Anything on Wednesday at 7 at night Eastern for people that can't participate during the day. That's for the premium members. So $97, you get a bunch of things, and we have great ideas, and we have a lot of fun doing it. So everybody take care, and I'll talk to you later.